Hi there, my name is Mark Thomas. I run the YouTube channel Mark Thomas Builder, and I'm also a member of the ECHO User Advisory Group. So today what I'm going to show you is my best practices, best tips and tricks for storing your fuel, and also how to prepare your equipment with fuel in the off season. So I have a couple of guests I'm excited to bring on this episode. So stay tuned and let's get into it. All right, so we're here at my favorite gas station buying rec fuel. Okay, so this is ethanol-free gasoline, 90 octane. So this right here is going to be for my two-stroke, and this right here is going to be for my four-stroke engines. So right now we're at the end of the season, and it's time to get things winterized for the winter time. So my lawnmower, I'm going to run a full tank of ethanol-free fuel in it, the rec gas. And then in my two-stroke equipment, I always use this right here, rec gas. All right, so let's fill these up. All right, here we go. We're going to fill up 2 gallons in the Surecan.
Brought to you by Wendy's.
All right. Okay.
Ice cold beer available inside.
You can see I wrote on there regular, so I know it's not mixed.
Considering this a priority for the next year. I meant to say, you need to make that phone call.
There we go.
Putting you on life support.
With my two-stroke equipment, I prefer the ECHO Red Armor fuel right here. So each one is rated for 1 gallon of fuel. So I'm gonna put 2 of these in right now. And then when it comes to stabilizing my fuel for my generator, my lawnmower, I use this right here. So this takes 8 capfuls, and that will give you 2 years of stabilization. So let's go ahead and add this to it. All right, that's ready to go. All right, we're all set at the gas station now. Hey everyone, I'm here with Jason Wilk. He's from ECHO. He's the Senior Product Manager, and we're gonna have a quick conversation about fuel storage. Jason and I, we talked a couple years ago, and you explained to me some of your tips for storing fuel. I was wondering if you could go over a few of those again. I know one was to fill the gas as high up as you can to keep air.
So, kind of best practices at ECHO would obviously, a whole line of high-performance two-stroke products, right? So we've been dealing with gasoline, we've been dealing with ethanol. Actually, in the Midwest, we started seeing ethanol pop up in the early 1990s. It's kind of taken a while to spread across the country, but we've been dealing with ethanol since the 1990s. And really, just when it comes down to kind of general practices of storing fuel, usually we start off with recommending at least a mid-grade or premium type fuel. The reason for that is the mid-grades or premium grade fuels do have more cleaning detergents in them. They'll keep the engines nice and clean, and they have more kind of goodie packages in them, right? So they'll clean better. It actually has better antioxidants, so it'll keep the fuel a little bit fresher longer. But when you get right to the pump, even starting at the pump, we always recommend using a really well-known fuel supplier. So someone that makes their own fuel, like a BP or a Shell or a Marathon. We don't have any specific name brand that we prefer.
Yeah.
But we just try to stay away from like the unbranded gas stations.
Okay, yeah, and I recall you mentioning to go to a place where you see a lot of traffic. So if you go to a place that's very rural and they don't sell much, especially like the rec fuel that has non-ethanol in it. The place, after we talked, I went to the local gas station where I'm at that sells that, and they said they have to get it filled like every week because it's so popular and there's not that many places around. So for me, that's been a perfect mix, and they offer 89 octane with theirs. I noticed others, that's probably like a minimum that you'd probably want to be at, right?
Minimum 89. I get a lot of questions, can I go higher, 91, 92, 93? Absolutely. The higher the octane, the better. But yeah, so what happens, just as like if you left fuel in your garage or in your shed, it can start to break down, start to turn the kind of gums that varnishes. Same thing at the gas stations, right? So if you have a gas station that's filling up, a couple 100 gallons in their tanks, and you don't have a lot of traffic going through there, that fuel is going to degrade in that tank just like it would in your shed or in your piece of equipment. So
yeah, that makes sense.
Stick with reputable known companies that have a lot of traffic, so you know that fuel is always fresh, it's always flowing through there, and you're not getting something that's, you know, 2 or 3 weeks old.
Okay, so now I'm wondering, let's say you have an Echo trimmer that you're going to put away in the fall.
Yes.
What do you prefer, running it dry or having it like full of fuel with the stabilizer?
So the way I do all my power equipment and what I recommend is you can really go one of two ways. If you're storing it for an off season, so let's say 3, 4, 5 months, the best way to do it is to start off with fresh fuel, good quality 2-stroke oil like Red Armor, throw some fuel treatment in there, take it and fill up your fuel tank, your product, you know, 85–90% full. So we want to limit that airspace, right? So we don't want the oxygen degrading the fuel during storage. Hit the purge bulb, get it circulating through the carburetor, run it for a little bit, turn it off and let it sit. The problem with running it completely dry is you almost never get all the fuel out, right? Oh. So there could be little particles of gasoline in the carburetor and the fuel lines, and now all that's going to be exposed to oxygen for a long period of time, and the last thing you want is those little droplets of fuel starting to turn to gums or varnishes.
Yeah,
so
makes sense.
I do recommend if you're storing it for a really long time, you know, 6, 7, 8 months, a year, then your best bet's to, you know, run it completely dry. And the perfect way to do it is to actually take the fuel lines and blow air through them and get all the fuel out of them. But for seasonal storage, start off with fresh fuel, top off the tank, run it before you shut it down. And I've been doing it that way now for 20+ years. I've never had a product not start coming out of spring or going in the winter.
That's good. I've used that practice as well, and I haven't had an issue either, so that's good to know. Just want to confirm that I'm doing things right.
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, all right, well, I appreciate, those are all the questions that I have. So. Okay, we're at Surecan.
Okay. When you ready?
Yep.
Okay. So here we have a flame mitigation device within our cans. Here it's basically if people make the mistake and pour their gas straight onto an open flame or a unit, that acts as a spark arrestor to protect them from having the whole gas can explode. It's basically the gist of what that does. So when they're filling up their gas can, take the nozzle and just stick it straight in and then fill it up through there.
Okay.
So that's how that works.
So the 2-gallon can, is that actually, it says 2+.
2+, yeah.
Does that mean it's more than 2 gallons?
It is. It's right around 2¼ gallons. So that way people can put their mixes, their oil mix within the can.
Okay.
And make that work.
Okay. All right, friends, so I hope this video has served you well in learning more about fuel storage. And if you want to learn more about it, head on over to the EchoMeansBusiness.com website, and there you can join in on some forums with other pros in the green industry, and we can continue this conversation further. So if you enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up and help support this channel. That's it, friends. Thanks for watching. See you next time.